Hi, it's Tim Michelle Birdsong, Eveartheartheart, daughter of the sun. They're looking at a picture of Jesus Christ, the Buddha, Govinda Singh Dhillon, son of the sun. This is the son of the sun, Adam, the first human, now being Michael Bublé, an international singing star and songwriter. This is part 4 of Herstory, Eveartheart, the art. Eve's story. As that I left off here, my great-grandfather is a being, Hassan, the manager of St. Francis of Assisi Residence 3 in Chelsea, Manhattan, New York. St. Francis, the saint who inspired this great hotel that gives shelter to the homeless at a rent they can afford. St. Francis is the being, Robin Michelle Birdsong, my daughter, Jandara Michelle's aunt, Jandara's mother, Melanie Lynn, sister. Melanie Lynn, the being, St. Patrick, who had been captured by Irish pirates. When Patrick was 16 years old, he was captured by Irish pirates. They brought him to Ireland, where he was sold into slavery in Dalridia. Excuse me. And there his job was to tend sheep. Patrick's master, Milcho, was a high priest of Druidism, a pagan sect that held major religious influence over the country at that time. Patrick became a pagan, and as Melanie Lynn Spear believed, he is a pagan, and she is a pagan in her subconscious mind, and thus became a pagan this life. We unconsciously repeat our patterns until we become aware of them with talk and share, become aware of what we establish, when we establish them, and release the emotions holding them in our minds. My train's source. My train of thoughts source. I wrote a song about when my mother was Corinne Beatrice Crowder, nicknamed Miss Frog. I called it simply, I Loved You, Miss Frog. My sister Helen said after hearing it, it's true. Music to the song was composed by a traditional country artist from Nashville, I believe, named Ramsey Kearney. Miss Frog and I, and her father, my great-grandfather, lived 45 miles from Nashville in Clarksville, Tennessee, the childhood home of Superman, now being Sing Birdsong, my son, Melanie Lynn's brother. Melanie Lynn was Cleopatra, 30 BC, August 12. Cleopatra dies by suicide, from History.com. Melanie Lynn died by suicide when she was Vincent van Gogh due to mental torture, due to poverty, the worst condition on earth. Melanie Lynn, the being, Vincent van Gogh's painting, speaking of irony, a portrait of Dr. Paul Gaucher, who took care of the artist in the final years of his life, was sold to a private collector for the record price of $75 million in 1990 at Christie's in New York. That's from Wide Walls. Cleopatra, being Melanie Lynn, lived this life with her family in poverty. One day her mother noticed she had been asleep quite a long time, so she walked to where Melanie lay sleeping. Alarmed, she shook her awake, grabbing her from the jaws of death, where she had been sinking into. Melanie Lynn admitted she had taken pills. Her mother feared she was attempting suicide. Like her daughter, T. Michelle had attempted suicide because voices in her head told her she didn't deserve to live. After all, she had her rival, Mary, Queen of Scots, beheaded when she was Queen Elizabeth I after the Babington plot was discovered. The Babington plot was a plan in 1586 to assassinate Queen Elizabeth I, a Protestant, and put Mary, Queen of Scots, her Roman Catholic cousin, on the English throne. That information comes from Wikipedia. Jesus Christ, the being Charan Singh, the being Gurinder Singh Dillon, said the people in the world will get along when they have the same religion. Eve votes for the religion being Saltmat, SANTMHA. It gives the most freedom to the individual and has few rules. Number 1 rule, lead a clean, pure, moral life. No sex outside marriage. Number 2, no mind-altering drugs, including no alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, heroin, etc. Let's decode this. Z. T for thee, H for heaven, O-N on, E-A-R-T-H, earth, heart. The heaven on earth, heart. 'Tis Eve. The Eve, meek, is to be believed when she... Wait a minute. Okay, I'm lost. Where are we? Here we are. Eve, the meek, me, kin, mother, is to be believed when she says she's the earth, heart, energies. Okay, the third rule in Saltmat is meditate no more than 10 minutes a day. Fourth rule, earn your own living. Don't be a burden on anyone. One own now. I have won my own living now by discovering that I'm an ear artist. Ear art is my thing. Number 5, Dr. Mike Murdoch, who is St. Paul, the apostle, said, your success lies in your difference when you discover your difference. And my difference is I can hear truth or falsehoods. Okay, number 5, a rule for Saltmat. Eat no meat, no fish, no eggs, nor anything containing their essence. 6th rule. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Vigilance decoded. E for entered. Let's see. Oh, it starts at V. V for victory. I for in. G for garden. E for Eve. L for love. E for entered. N for north. C for Carolina. E for event. Victory and garden. Eve's love entered. North Carolina. Event. Eve Venus, test through tests and East Saints test, the best saint in the West, the Guru and me, self, T. Michelle, excelled. Okay, so I can explain that. In Fayetteville, North Carolina, 2018, T. Michelle was snubbed by her friends because she had been homeless and looked poor. She did not react, however, and when the Guru came on stage, Jesus Christ, Govinda Singh Dillon, she was overjoyed, she was happy. She held no resentment for the people who had been hostile toward her, who had been her fellow disciples, who she had known for 45 years. And she just was present with the Guru and just enjoyed him thoroughly. She had come to North Carolina after telling her friend Mary Panama in New York that she wanted a kiss and hug from Govinda Singh because they had had a relationship in her ear for over a year, and she wanted to see if the body saint, the body master, loved her as well. Okay, so she did not, when she went, she was very happy with being with him and seeing him. Even though her seats were far back, she could see him on a big screen. And before he left, he did a pose of standing on one leg with his hands in prayer position that reminded her of a picture she had taken of herself. So she felt it was a tribute to her he was giving. And so Nancy, one of the Sabadors who had been mean to her because she didn't respect her anymore when she had been earlier in times in life, T. Michelle had been prosperous. And this is the first time that they had seen her down on her luck, but they wouldn't make eye contact with her. Her brother, she thought was her spiritual brother, Fountain Jr., wouldn't even give Babaji a package for her, a small package for her. You know, they were just totally disrespecting her, but she didn't care. She was just happy to be in the presence of the Guru. So when she got back to New York, she told Mary Panama, in answer to Mary's question, that she did not receive a kiss and she did not receive a hug. And so Mary Panama got mad. She said, "You got nothing." And T. Michelle was angry with her because she was fulfilled. She was very satisfied. T. Michelle was very satisfied to have seen and to have been in the presence and to have felt the exhilaration of being in the same room with him. So then as time went on, she realized, because he told her in her ear, he was back in her ear, she didn't ask him why he didn't kiss and why he didn't hug her. She didn't question him. But he said that it was revealed to her that he had married her and impregnated her, that during the 40 minutes he was there in Fayetteville. And so that's the way God is. His reward is such a giver. He's an overgiver. His reward to her for loving him and not being negative and being fuming or pouting about the way those satsangis had treated her. His reward was love back to her. And he gave her what she loves, which is a baby. She loves babies. And furthermore, when she got back to New York, her father, the son, she was looking up at him, and he pulled out a supreme beam, and he's impregnated her also. So she's carrying twins. And so that's about eternal vigilance, you know. She paid attention to her love, Govinda Singh Dillon, Jesus Christ, and he paid attention to her despite the vibration of snobbery and enmity that was going on. Okay, so she brought, that's what it says here, her love. She passed the test because her love entered the event, not her anger. There was no anger. She wasn't angry with anyone. She didn't understand how the people, the Sevadars, the Satsangis, Jesus Christ's disciples could snub her. She didn't understand that because they had been friends for 45 years, but she didn't puzzle over it either. She just let it go. And Govinda Singh, on the other hand, stopped Satmat, ended the satsang. And that's why Eve thinks that it would be a good religion now, instead of an exclusive path back to the ocean of light. He closed the door to the ocean of light. So nobody's going anywhere. If they're going to die, if people choose to die, they'll go down probably to the animal kingdom or the plant kingdom or lower, or become invisible and just have no body at all for eternity, because that's what's going on in eternity. Jesus Christ promised eternal life to those who waited on him, and so this is what he is preparing. This is what we're living, really, and he's preparing heaven on earth, as he promised he would go and make a place for them, for his disciples, his true disciples. Okay? So I think that's the end of part 4 of Herstory. This is Herstory. And you've heard of history? This is Herstory. Thank you for watching.